Hello, everyone. This is the third video from this package. We started with personal development, then we moved for career guidance, and now we will end with effective interview. It's my pleasure to be with you again, and let me introduce myself again. I am Professor Ilham Yusri, Professor of Pediatrics and Head of the Pediatric Hematology and Bone Marrow Transplantation Unit, Cairo University. And now we will discuss effective interview. These are the outlines, and let us start with the first. What's interview? Interview is a tool for data collection in which the interviewee and the interviewer communicate together for data collection. It's used in different situations. It's used during job application, job applicant, at that time called applicant interview. It's used during exit interview from after resignment from the job, leaving the job. It's needs in education, in learning need assessment. It is used in business, in customer need assessment. Even in investigatory situation, in investigatory interview. So it is commonly used tool in many situations for data collection. There are two types of the interviews, either non-structured, non-directive, or structured. The non-structured, in which the interviewer asks randomly chosen question, mostly بتبقى open-ended questions. This kind of interview is always prone to bias because it's unstructured. And in this, if we use this type of interview, it's hard to compare between people, between many interviewees, because the questions is randomly selected, open-ended, and hard to compare the answer between the interviewees. The commonly used type is the structured interview, in which we already ask a prepared questions. It's very good in comparing data between the interviewees or the applicant, less chance for bias. So we used to use this structured interview. In any interview session, there is stages of interview process. The first stage is the ice breaking or warm up, in which we build rapport between the interviewer and the interviewee by setting the tone and start to establish rapport. After that, we give the pace and give the applicant or the interviewee some time to talk about him or herself. This is the applicant talking or the interviewee talking. After this part, we will move to the most important part of the interview process, which is the questioning part. In this part, we already use the prepared questions and should be prepared. This question should be prepared in advance and related to the aim and the data needed to be collected from this interview. After finishing the questions that we want to ask, we will move for the information step, in which the interviewer gives some information for the interviewee about what's next, how he will hear from us later, and so on. Then we will close the interview in the appropriate time and in a positive tone. As we just stated in the questioning part of the interview, we it's better to use many question type. And these are the question type that we will discuss during our workshop. And always when we prepare the questions, we used to use different question types. How to interview effectively? Very easy. If we want to make this communication between the interviewee and the interviewer effective, and this communication is effective, and the data collected effectively, every one of these two, interviewee and interviewer, should know his or her role and perform this role properly and prepare him or herself for the role he will do. So the interviewer role and the interviewee role. If we want to revise the interviewer role, I think it is easy for us to know what's the interviewer role. And these are some of the roles he should do. The most important is to prepare the question, is to read the interviewee CV and the resume, to know him before the time of the meeting, or to maintain the applicant's self-esteem and to respect the interviewee, to schedule the time and to maintain the time, and so on. So these are the role of the interviewer, and he or she should be trained for this role. As regards the interviewee role, and all of us should train ourselves on this role, because this tool is commonly used during career progress and development, for getting higher job, for being promoted, always for being hired even, always we go through interview, and we play the role of the interviewee. So we should know this role competently. And this is one of the skills and competencies needed during career guidance. There is something the interviewee should do and others should be avoided. Let us go for things he should do. He should be well prepared, wear appropriately, well groomed, give firm shake hands before the corona, definitely, and give good smile, be enthusiastic, show you are flexible and adaptable, ask some intelligent questions about the work you are applying for, prepare yourself for the tricky questions. And we have part of our session discussing some of the tricky questions and what is the best answer for this tricky questions. On the other hand, please avoid to sound too clever. Avoid to apply for a job you don't have the competencies needed to complete its task. Please avoid these things. So prepare well for the interview. How to prepare the interview and how to prepare yourself for the tricky question. One of the most important is to know yourself, to know your strengths, to know your weaknesses, to know what is the opportunity you are looking for, to know what things that may threat your position. Know yourself properly, because these are one of the tricky questions always the interviewer asks during the interview. So these are some of the tricky questions, and we will discuss them during our workshop. What are the reasons of being not offered the job? Work hard to avoid the reasons of not offering not to offer the job. One of the most important reasons, you don't have the competencies of the task needed. Poor attitude, inability to express yourself, low level of accomplishment, lack of enthusiasm, poor appearance. So all these things are reasons for not being offered the job. The other thing, and please avoid asking too much for many privileges or advantages. Applicants ask many requests like high salary demand, unrealistic, multiple benefit demands like insurance and reward. So please don't put these things in the interview and postpone them later. Let us reach to the conclusion. The interview is an important tool for data collection, to help us in decision making, as hiring the best for the task, improving our skill to conduct effective interview will maximize our opportunity to get what we are looking for. Both interviewee and interviewer should sharpen their skill in conducting effective interview. And thank you so much. I'm looking forward, inshallah, to meet and to conduct this workshop, to learn more about these topics, and see you in the workshop. And have a great evening. Bye-bye.